Hello, Yvonne Gabauer here. Last night I did my step 5 in my journaling by fives, where it was pen and pencil. And I didn't get finished. I think I ended up on I think the time went off. I just kind of flipped the page and the time had gone off when I was starting to talk about this page. Anyways, I started some of my free play last night, and I didn't bother recording it, but I'm just going to kind of go through what I did last night, and then maybe I'll do a few pages tonight just to kind of show you what I did. I'm going to take my... Okay, I have to apologize. I watched the video today after work that I had recorded last night, and I had these stupid bangles on. Well, all you can hear in the background every time I'm moving my hand is these stupid things rattling, I tell you. Duh. Anyways, things that you learn while you do YouTube videos, right? Don't wear bangly bracelets. Okay, so some of the things that I did last night is I did a little bit of doodling on here, so around the 4 and the 5. I did some more outlining on my, okay, this isn't going to work here, like around these parts of the page on that one. Not a whole lot on that page. This page I just added some more. I added the black around her, and then I did the shading around her with my Stabilo all pencils. So what I did was you take the pencil and you just kind of go around the figure, and then you take your water brush, and I'll show you that because I'm sure I'll be doing it again. You can do it with that. I also used my Faber-Castell Pit Artist pen a lot, the brush one, to do a lot of my shading. But anyways, it just makes the girl pop out of the page, right, when you do that shading around her. And the same with around the words. And then I like to do a border. So I take my big brush pen and just go around and color it in. I also colored in some of those dots you can see. So I filled them in with black and then just traced around them with my white Uniball pencil, or pen, or whatever it's called. Let's see, what else did I do? Now this page here, I really did a lot of shading on. So you can see, let me see if I can I've got my tripod here. I don't have any other kind of a setup. So I know this is probably going to be upside down now, but you can see how the letters pop out of the page now. Around my butterfly, I did a bunch of defining of the wings. Did a little butterfly trail. I did some definition around these smaller little jeweled butterflies. And again, did the black around the border. So it just makes that butterfly come to the forefront instead of being blended into the background. Same with this daisy. I don't know if you remember it, but it was very tone on tone, which is fine, but I wanted a little bit more definition for the flower. So the same thing applied to that one. I used my Stabilo all pencil, and you can also see I did some shading around these dots. And what I did was I took my white Faber-Castell big brush pen, whichever way that goes, and I would color on the top and then blend that in with my finger, and then I went around it with my smaller Faber-Castell Pit pen. And it just makes those circles pop out of the page and gives them some dimension, like they're almost 3D, right? What did I do with this one? Oh, I did quite a bit with this one, actually. I did the brickwork, so I did a lot of shadowing and shading around the brickwork, again around the words there. Added some drips with the same color sprays as I'd used in the background. I didn't do anything to the hands because I thought that they stood out pretty good on their own. But then what I did was I took the colors of spray that I had used, and you can see these little drip marks. And what I did was I just took the end of the Lindy Stent Gang right out, like this, and then you just take this little dropper thing and you just tap it like you would, I don't know, I guess if you were flicking ashes off a cigarette. That's a really bad analogy, isn't it? Because smoking is so not what you should do. Anyway, and then just dried it up is what I did there. I don't need any more dots on there, so I'll just take these off that I put on. But I just thought that gave this page really good, fun little twist because of those hands. There's so much paint, and that's kind of the theory behind this page, right? So that's why I added the, and I don't know if that's helping me hold this up closer or not. I guess we'll learn. Not a whole lot I did to my little putastrophe. All I did was, again, did some shadowing around the hearts to make them pop up from the page. Did some borders around the surprise and stuff. What I did around my borders, I colored in around some of the hearts there, and then just doodled a border down this edge. I don't know if you can see it there. Just to sort of make it match the hearts. But again, so on the bottom and on the top, I just colored in some of those black hearts that I had. On this page, I did a lot of shadowing on this page, and you really probably can't tell now, but what I did was I added some definition to the Eiffel Tower here. So I took my charcoal pencil and went around the outside edges and then blended it in. I did a little bit more around the girls, again, to, you know, to give them some depth to the page and around her. But then what I did to this awesome, excuse me, is it was just in the red, and it had nothing really else around it. So I took my black permaball pen and I outlined each one of the letters, and that just added that oomph and pop to that awesome that I wanted. And again, just went around, did some coloring in on the little border thing with my white Uniball pen, and I did some splatters. What I like to do, and this is a tip I learned from Lemore Weber. She's awesome. So I took some of my Liquitex fluid acrylic paint, and I just keep one of my stamping blocks beside me here. And I just took the dropper and put some on the stamping block. Sometimes I'll add water to it, sometimes I won't. And you soak down your fan brush. And then when you're going to do the splatters, you don't want to point the paintbrush down and hit it, because what's going to happen is all those black splatters come back and get you in the face. Ask me how I know this. Something I did before. I learned a little trick from Lemore. You actually tilt the brush upwards and then tap it. And some of it will still, a little bit will come back, but most of it will go on your page instead of back at your face. So just a little tip there that you're going to want to tuck into that back pocket. Again, more definition here. So I did some shading around the words to make them, again, pop off. Lots of shading in these two daisies, because I wanted those petals to have a lot of depth. So what I did is I really made it a lot darker in the center of this. I don't know if you can see that, but I did a lot of shading in amongst those little petals there. And same with here, just to give that definition. Because again, if you're looking at a flower, it's going to have those deep shadows where the petals are close together, right? And then less as it comes out towards the page. And again, I did some shadowing around my textured circles here, again, to give them some oomph off the page. This one, I just added a little white trail, did some shadowing around there, again, colored in the little dots and put white around them, did a little bit more shading on that butterfly, and then I left it. I don't know what else I'm going to do with this page, and this one is one I might come back to at a later date. Right now, nothing is telling me I need to do anything different, so we're going to leave that one as is. Now, here's the one where my good old left and right brain were arguing when I did this, and those little scallops didn't end. There we go. If my camera went off there, I think. If my left brain is still yelling at me, I'm supposed to go back and just fill in some of those scallops. No pattern, no, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go back in, and we're just going to take every once in a while and just fill in some of those, trying to get that left brain to just relax, sit back, and enjoy the ride. And quit screaming at me, because it is very, very annoying. Oh, that's right, I wasn't supposed to color them all in, and that's what I'm doing. See? Good old left brain still wanting to control. I wonder, again, if I just use this same pen then. of making it worse or better. But I'm definitely just scribbling and not caring, that's for sure. Okay, so I don't love it, but you know what? That's okay. Because it's all about giving that right brain the freedom just to do whatever, right? Is it the best scallops? Nope, it's not. But you know what? That actually felt pretty good. I'm not even going to lie. So what else I did was I took my black pen and kind of went around just some of these letters, not all of them. I took my white signal pen, colored in some of these little circles, and I'll show you what I like to do on my edges, because I like my edges to have something. I don't like just the stark edge, I guess, or whatever. So what I like to do is take the edge of my Pitt pen, and again, these are India ink, and they've got some blending time. And I just go along the edge like that. And all it does is, again, it just adds some definition to, and you don't want it to be, yeah, see, you don't want it to be perfect. See, I'm okay with not being perfect here. It's funny, you know, I kind of have one of those, I like messy grunge, but I like orderly messy grunge, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Yeah, probably not, but anyway. I like things messy, but planned messy, right? Does that make sense? Sure, that makes sense. We're going to say that it makes sense. Now, I did do some blending out. I wonder if just my ordinary charcoal pencil might be better for this. So I just want to give her a little bit more off the page. Sometimes I like using my Stabilo, sometimes I like just using the ordinary charcoal pencil, right? But you see how it just gives her that dimension on the page, and so you can blend that right out to be darker towards her and then out more as it goes away from her. And then down on the bottom here too, I want to give some definition around her. Oh, I don't know if I've got my, probably holding my hand right in front of it, eh? This is what happens to my finger as I'm working with the, but that's all right. I think I'm going to leave that page for now. Now this one here, this is where I want to do some more definition in those, around those petals. Just again to make them pop off the page. Now because I've used charcoal pencil on this, of course when you shut the page it's going to want to rub and transfer to the other page. So if I've done this in a journal with my charcoal pencil, I will, when I'm all done, I'll spray it with a fixative so that it will not smear. Then you can actually do some more you can do some more work over top of it if you really wanted to. Now I don't want an overabundance of shading around the outside of these petals, but I want it to get a little bit darker on the inside again. This is where you can really get those petals to pop off the page, right? And be not quite so blendy into the again, just making it darker towards the center. And that's just a personal preference. That's no rule. I have no idea if that's how you're supposed to do it. Art rules, I don't know. I really don't know a whole lot about art. Would I love to learn? Absolutely. Would I like to get into the fine arts? Yep, I would. But I'm not right now. So yeah, I mean, I just do what I like. It doesn't always have to, in my head, doesn't always have to make sense. But if I like the end results, then I am happy with it. But yeah, I like how that charcoal pencil just blends those petals, and they just start to come alive and become more of a focal point instead of part of the background, right? Your background fades back into the background and your flowers come out to the foreground when you do this, right? Does that make sense? Now I don't know how much definition I want there. If I just want my flowers to be the focal point here, I think. There. See, I like that. I think that just makes it look that much better. Now what I want to do is I'm about the borders around things. Oh, this one, that's right too. This silly pen keeps rubbing off. So I'm going to go around with my Stabilo pencil just to give this some shading. And then when you add water to it, see how dark it gets when you add water? And again, you can blend that out to be as dark or as light as you want it to be. Add some more water to activate it. Once it's dry and you can't reactivate it, but until that page dries, you're going to have some blending time with the Stabilo. The Stabilo all pencil will write on glass, plastic, wood, what is it? Paper, glass, plastic, and metal. So it's kind of an all-around pencil you can use on just about anything, right? Okay, I don't want to make this too long and do all of it. I'm already at about 16 minutes here. It's actually more than longer than that because I turned my timer on before, and I'm not timing myself 15 minutes back. I've actually just put a stopwatch on so I can kind of keep track, because I've got this tripod set up, and I don't know, I mean, I like that I can set my camera up and record, but the tripod really gets in the way, so I don't know if I've got somebody that can give me some suggestions on that, on how to set the tripod up so it's not in your way. I think Shannon had a thing once, and I don't know, maybe I should go back and re-watch that. Hey, Miss Shannon Green? I like having shadow. I don't know, I'm kind of a shadow person. I like having shadows around things. I just think that it adds that depth to a page. I don't know, I like it. I like it, I like it. I don't know what else I'm going to do to that one. I think that's pretty much it. I think that's it for that. This one I have no idea what to do, and I might not do anything at all. I want to do some, and this I do really rough, because this I don't want to be all neat. This is a mixed media page, and I don't want it to be all matchy and nice, and all these nice crisp lines and all. See, I can scribble there, but I can't scribble on a scallop. Does that make any sense at all? None, does it? Now I need to get this silly thing going again here. There we go. I did these scallops really quickly. I don't really like them, so I'm kind of hoping if I add some white to the edges or to the inside of it, it'll help it look a little bit better. If I just color in those, I can hardly tell on the green. You can tell more now when it gets to the blue what I'm doing, but on the green it doesn't show up much, so maybe it doesn't really much matter, hey? I wonder if I just do a really scraggly on the inside. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. Adds a little bit more, again, another layer, more texture, more depth to your page. Every time you add a layer, it adds more depth or whatever to your page. You only have so much blend time with these India ink pens, and then that's it. They're done. I don't know. I don't think this needs anything more. I'm going to leave it just like that. That's one I can always come back to if I need to, right? Right. A lot of it's rubbing back off again, but it's starting to build a layer around that. So I'm trying to blend it in but not rub it off, which is hard to do by the looks of things. I want to add some depth around this. Now, let me see here. I don't want this to get quite so gray with the charcoal pencil, so I'm going to go in and erase some of that that's smeared into the middle of that, just to bring that white back out. Just like that. Now with a page like this, again, you can play with your white pen here. I get pretty quiet when I'm just sitting here filling in with white, don't I? It does happen every once in a while, see? I can be quiet. There, I like that. Come on. there. Okay, my memory card ended up getting full. Anyways, I think that's all I'm going to do as far as recording this, so it's going to take me quite a while. And I don't know how to do fast forward voiceovers yet, so anyway, I'm going to keep plugging away, and then I think what I'll do is I'll record again once I get to where I have to glue the rest of my stuff on my pages and all that kind of stuff. But I'll walk through and show you what I've done. Anyway, that's all I'm going to do for today, so thank you very much for stopping by again. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. Thank you very much for popping in, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.